costellata di episodi entrati oramai nella leggenda, è sempre stato fedele ad un'unica maglia, quella bianconera del Santos. E grazie a lui la formazione paulista si è fatta conoscere in tutto il mondo, vincendo per 2 volte la Coppa Intercontinentale che incorona il club più forte. Al ricco palmarès vanno poi aggiunti i 5 titoli brasiliani e le 2 Coppe Libertadores, tutti conquistati con il contributo determinante del grande Orei. Ma purtroppo anche i più bei sogni svaniscono e oggi il Santos vive una realtà ben differente. Per scovare l'ultimo successo di un certo prestigio occorre risalire a 3 anni fa, allorché i bianconeri si aggiudicarono il titolo di campioni dello Stato di San Paolo. Quest'anno invece le cose vanno male.
Preparing to get the game in motion, the referee for this match is Ulf Eriksson of Sweden. Sweden, of course, Denmark's long-time foe on the football field. And Denmark then, on a fine evening in the Idrætsparken in Copenhagen, set the game in motion. And it'll be interesting to see how Denmark in the darker strip, two-tone red against Poland all in white, play this game. Because obviously, Denmark have qualified in the strength of fine performances home and away, strong running, tight marking, and the element of surprise, something that may not be beneficial to use in the heat and the altitude of Mexico, where limbs will tire quicker. Will they adapt their game to fit those circumstances? Will we see a first chance to evaluate that in this game tonight? This is Elkjær, and the tackle coming in from Waikiki. Denmark, unlike many teams, delaying their departure to Mexico. They've been doing their so-called altitude training at home with the benefit of oxygen masks. 3 is Busk, and a mistake by him, giving the chance to Smolarek. But good cover there. Morten Olsen. Tall figure of Ivan Nielsen. And Denmark just getting a little caught. It'll be key to put on a show for the home fans in this, their last fixture before heading for Mexico. They're winning themselves a free kick in just the 2nd minute of the match. Quite obviously no goals as yet. Lerbu. Nielsen. And support outside here from Klaus Berggren, tackled by Ostrovsky. Klaus Berggren making the run, Mulbu with the throw. Poland with lots of men back. But Denmark still battling away. Elkjær. Now Mulbu after this. It's with Bunkol for Poland. But then Wojcicki getting himself into some trouble. And finally a foul by Mulbu. And the other number 7, Bunkol. Mulbu, who won an English Cup winners' medal last Saturday with Liverpool when they beat Everton, and he had a fine game. Matishik. And now Ostrovsky. Zhikanovsky held that well. Majewski. And then Wojcicki. Now Lerbu. Denmark with possession back. A strong midfielder Always distinctive with the stockings around the ankles. But an uncharacteristically sloppy ball from L'Herbieu. Mobu, Arneson, Berggren, and now Ivan Nielsen. Well, I wonder, is this what we can expect from Denmark and Mexico? Possession football, not played at 100 miles an hour. And Morten Olsen, the oldest man on the field, showing them how. Denmark winning the throw. Marvellous atmosphere, as you can hear. Raucous Copenhagen fans. Arneson. Support outside from Busk. Arneson again. And now Busk, who was offside. Seemed too good to be true. The Swedish linesman right level with play, spotting the offside. This is Józef Miliarczyk, the Polish goalkeeper, and 5 is Majewski. Smolarek. Boniek that was. Bunkol. And Boniek. Oh, showed far too much of that to L'Herbieu. Arneson. Looking for offside, the Poles. Something on here perhaps. Elkier. And losing out to Kubicki. Goal kick Poland. Kubicki denying Elkier there, but a rare mistake by Boniek caused all that. Now support here from Ostrovsky. It's a good-looking ball. And a very important interception there by Søren Busk. As Smolarek came in, a very good ball it was from Ostrovsky. On the end of it was this fella, Smolarek, and Busk came back to give away the corner, the first of the match. Too many Danes back. Like that. Klaus Berggren fouled. But the referee there to see it and to award Denmark the free kick, and now it's with L'Herbieu. And Miliarczyk just marshalling the defence. L'Herbieu's it was, the ball that was too weighty for the front players. Poland certainly showing every keenness to run at the Danish defence, and a lot of the attacks coming from Smolarek. And this now is Ostrovsky, support on the outside by Bunkol. And Kvist, little deflection just as the cross came in, having to drop on it to make sure the danger was averted. Bunkol sending it across the face of the goal. Has to be said, Poland looking lively, but L'Herbieu decided to take command of proceedings. Elkier come very deep, and not keeping the possession, and a fortunate bounce there, and Smolarek away. Berggren back with him. Smolarek. Challenge coming in, and a fine one it was from Søren Busk, who's been stout in defence these opening 10 minutes. You see, just from the players here, a fair amount of breeze in Copenhagen, tending to favour Poland. Dzikanovski. Way the numbers beat him there. Bunkol. Oh, good play. And maybe something on here for Poland. The whistle had gone for the free kick to Denmark, despite the fact that Boniek put it in the net. He was adjudged to have been offside. And Denmark breathe again. At the other end, no trouble to Mlynarczyk. Ostrovsky. Berggren back. Playing a pretty orthodox right back role at the moment. While on the other flank, Denmark try to build something else. Now with Olsen. Morten Olsen, that is. Andersen. And still, Berggren sold him short with a pass. But a fine challenge by Mølby. Very nearly won the possession back. And it was Martisic who felt the weight of it. A good open game so far. No goals as yet, though, in the 11th minute. Mølby once more. Elkjær, and now Laudrup. And good support offered here by Nielsen. And he's made room for the cross. Poor one it was, though. Not enough curl or height on it. Defender able to block it out. Ivan Nielsen's cross coming to nothing. Majewski. Trying to slot it through, but Morten Olsen, that experienced sweeper, read it so well. 36 years of age and making his 78th appearance, Morten Olsen. And this is the man who reaches the half-century in this match, Søren Lørby. Ever the enthusiast. And look how he made himself available for that. A well pulled back, Elkjær. Preben Elkjær might have made more of that chance. Brilliantly fashioned for him by the experienced midfielder Lørby, who made himself available, pulled back the cross behind the defence so well. And Elkjær got the shot in cleanly, but it was a poor one by his high standards. Preben Elkjær, the Verona striker. Mølby's arm, just catching the pole. That other number 7, Andrej Bunkol. As they say in the English vernacular, Mølby puts himself about a bit, strong man in midfield. And at Liverpool, where he plays his football, they call him Rambo, after that Sylvester Stallone cinema character. Here's the challenge again. I don't think it was totally intentional that the elbow caught Bunkol in the face. But to be fair, Mølby does not hold back in any of his challenges. Bunkol happily recovered. Sepp Piontek, the Danish manager there, prominent in the middle of that shot. We've now got Boniek, the captain. And far too many Danes there. Nielsen and Lørby. Laudrup, Lurbu again. And Poland playing their way, well, tempting fate by saying neatly out of trouble. But that's the kind of remark that invites a sloppy pass. Mølby. Ever keen to try the shot, Jan Mølby. Denmark is yet to find the range, and this was some way off the target. Curling away and high off the outside of the right boot. Ostrovsky. And the whistle, bringing the free kick. Klaus Berggren to take it. Confirmation of the state of the game at the quarter hour. Dzikanovsky. And support once more by the left back Ostrovsky. And the danger not averted yet. Boniek. Ostrovsky once more. But Poland's finishing. That was their first shot anywhere near the target, coming from Komornicki. But as with Denmark at the other end, unable to hit the target with the shot. Denmark playing Poland in this final warm-up match before the World Cup for both teams. Elkjær trying to force a way through the Polish defence. Now Bunkol. Support on the right by Komornicki. And a decent-looking cross. An important interception there by Berggren. Shot there. Ostrovsky. Again, missing the target. Well, a magnificent sight, the main grandstand in the Idrætsparken in Copenhagen, and filled to its capacity in the region of 40,000. Boniek, though, might spoil their party. Fine challenge that. Morten Olsen, the captain. The mistake was made. Boniek was away and homing in on goal, but what a fine challenge from the 36-year-old skipper. And bringing Poland their second corner. Olsen saving Denmark. Boniek very nearly in for Poland. And again, a corner to Poland, this time off the head of Søren Lurbu. The referee, meanwhile, had spotted an infringement, so the corner can't take place. Poland instead with the free kick. Ole Kvist, who's a policeman by profession, plays his football part-time, Danish goalkeeper. Morten Olsen. Now Morten Olsen has joined the attack. Elkjær around his man. Elkjær's cross. And the layback very nearly spelling danger for Poland. Good running here, and Poland are not offside, and Boniek free in the middle, and Boniek there, Kvist making a hash of it, but no Pole there to take advantage. More stunning play by Ziggy Boniek, pulling the Danish defence apart as they beat the offside trap. The goalkeeper made a hash of it, but there wasn't another Pole up in support of Boniek. So fast had been his reaction. Marvellous play here. Kvist should have made a better fist of saving that. But I suppose all that matters is that Poland are still scoreless. Morten Olsen. Denmark trying to counter. And here goes Laudrup. Elkjær in the middle, and that's for him. Elkjær trying to make the room, but Poland fully aware of the danger that he poses. The threat that he poses. That was Mulbu cutting it out. And you noticed how 3 Polish markers got around Elkjær as he tried to turn on that pass from Laudrup. This, though, is Morten Olsen. Berggren. Arnesen. The throw is Poland's. Is Komornicki, and Wojcicki, the right back. Zikanovski. Martisic and Ostrovsky. Denmark finding no trouble snuffing out that attack. Henrik Andersen. Mulbu. And that was meant for Lurbu. And notice how he went in with the challenge, even though it was in the final third of the field. So many teams would draw back from the challenge, attacking teams when the ball was lost like that, but that is not Denmark's style. It's the Polish bench. Olsen. Ivan Nielsen. Laudrup jumping over it. And this is now Ostrovsky. Boniek. Bunkol. Loru. But a poor ball from him. Kubicki. By Lurbu. Morten Olsen setting up another Danish attack. Frank Arnesen. And good play there by Ivan Nielsen. Lurbu. Mulbu. And Preben Elkjær. Lurbu to Mulbu. It was Boniek cutting it out. Now here comes Mulbu. Support from Morten Olsen. And outside, Berggren. And what a fine header that was by Arnesen. Coming in on the blind side of the defence. It was Morten Olsen who set up the move. Worked out to Berggren on the right. Cross-whipped in, and nobody picked up Arnesen with a diving header. And it wasn't very far away in the 25th minute. And I would suggest the closest we've come yet to scoring. Flurry of excitement in the Portuguese goal, in the Polish goalmouth. But it's still 25 minutes gone. Denmark 0, Poland 0. Is Majewski, and here's Ostrovsky outside him, cut out by Morten Olsen. Berggren up to Arnesen, tangling with Boniek. The Dane won it. Lerbu, and space out left. Henrik Andersen that was, now Laudrup, and Elkjær couldn't control it. Arnesen, Berggren, and strength and depth and numbers saved Poland then. Now Lerbu skipped away from his man beautifully. Arnesen playing as an orthodox outside right and winning the corner. Thought perhaps he should have made more of that, Frankie Arnesen. Became Dutch champion of the weekend. Last weekend, PSV Eindhoven, so Dutch championship medal and an English Cup winners medal in the possession of two of the Danes. Arnesen's corner, Berggren's header, and a goal kick to Poland. So Poland all in white, move forward right to left once more. Ostrovsky. Komornicki. And Smoralek. Tangling with Ivan Nilsson. Smoralek coming away with the ball. And again it took stout defending to keep out the attacking side. But interesting, both teams getting their men back in numbers when danger presents itself and offering the attackers precious little option. I'm sure very much a tactic you can expect to see employed in Mexico. That was a superb ball out to Arnesen. And Arnesen's cross, unfortunately, not the best. Mulbu. But wins the corner. Arnesen had stepped off the field so as not to be offside. But a superb ball it was that sent Arnesen away in the first place. And his corner it is. In came Morten Olsen. But the goal was well defended. Komornicki opting to use Mlynarczyk once more. And here he is again, Komornicki. And once more, Komornicki. It's Nielsen tangling there. And winning the goal kick for Denmark. Ivan Nilsson. That looked like obstruction. The referee thought so too. And then changed his mind, away play on. Appeared for a moment there that Ulf Eriksson was going to give the free kick, then changed his mind, but maybe Denmark may be able to make something here. No. Ostrovsky. And now with Komornicki. Support on the outside. And Komornicki involved once more. Kubicki. Denmark playing their way out of trouble. A poor ball by Busk. Ostrovsky. And confirmation for you. Just over half an hour gone. Player on the deck in that challenge moments ago and put out of play by Fuikiki to give him the chance of receiving attention. But the referee not interested until now. His attention is drawn towards the fact. Now the injured player on his feet again, and Poland can resume with the game. Buniek. After this is Bunkol. And Smolarek very nearly getting in on the end of that. And winning the corner for Poland. So Denmark again pulling everybody back. Smolarek's corner. And Kvist unhappy. And the danger not over yet. Breaking now to Ostrovsky. Beaten by Lerby. And now Preben Elkjær. Looking for Laudrup. It's a superb ball. But no support up as yet. And Laudrup pulled down. And was that inside or outside the area? No question that it was a foul. And the referee, I think rightly so, saying it was not a penalty. The challenge took place just outside the area. We can have it confirmed for us here as Matysik goes in on Laudrup, who played the ball past him brilliantly. And no doubt, yes, the foul took place just on the edge of the area. But Denmark have the free kick. But what a fine movement that was. Laudrup here released by a superlative ball from Preben Elkjær. And fouled in the end by Matysik. They call that the professional foul. I don't know. I think it destroys the whole spirit of the game when a player indulges in that. But there's the man who did it on the end of the wall, Matysik. 37 appearances before tonight for Poland, so he knew what he was doing. Frankie Arnesen standing over the ball. And that wasn't very far away from Moby. But the whole element of surprise disappears when a foul like that takes place. This is what happened from the free kick. But Poland now with all 11 men back behind the ball. Yet had Laudrup been allowed to continue his run and not been chopped down so cynically by Matysik, they would only have the goalkeeper between ball and goal. So a free kick in such circumstances, scant reward for the foul challenge. And really it can't be condemned enough in my view, such a challenge. But it's only punished, as by the rules as they stand at the moment, by the awarding of a free kick. And so doubtless there are those who will continue to indulge in such cynical foul play as what we've just seen, but taken of by Matysik, the Polish defender. And Denmark, I should think, justifiably aggrieved. But But I would have thought a yellow card might have been in order for the Pole, but Ulf Eriksson, the referee, unimpressed. Still no goals then, with just over 10 minutes to the half-time interval. Is Kvist, the goalkeeper, doing the retrieving there? An interesting case. 36 years of age. Piontek putting him in the side tonight. See how he stands up. He can't be too pleased with what he's seen of the goalkeeping policeman. The fans love him. He was a star of the European Championships in 1984. But he hasn't been so much of a star tonight, helped by the rest of his defence. Now here's the attack on Song, and this is Van Bergeren. And still not cleared, but now it is. It's a good-looking attack by Denmark, stretching Poland there. Now the Poles with a chance to do the same themselves. Smolarek unable to keep the control. Poland have a throw. Possession with Bunkol. Ostrovsky, Bunkol. Komornicki. And now Kubicki. Boniek, Kubicki once more. And an important interception there by Søren Busk. And another corner to Poland. Denmark's defence with Kvist in goal not looking as happy as it might. Smolarek with a corner. Not the best corner of the night. And again, Denmark with plenty of men back, able to contain the threat. Arnesen. Michael Laudrup. Wanted Elkier on the run, but Elkier wanted it played to feet. Smolarek. Dzikanovski. Chased by Bergeren, and now Boniek. And Boniek shooting and not very far away at all. That must have been too close for comfort for Denmark. Out of nothing, Zbibi Boniek just seeing the opening and firing in the right-footed shot. Kvist well beaten. But the ball the wrong side of the post, and from that angle we don't really see quite how close it came. Denmark living dangerously. Now, Frank Arnesen. And finding his man well, Busk. Danger here. Now, Mølby. Laudrup. How did he get the ball out of there? And Elkier, but taken off his toe. Preben Elkier, so very nearly getting in. And now, on the counter, is Boniek. 21 with him is Henrik Andersen of Anderlecht in Belgium. Boniek still with the possession. And that was played to Smolarek, but his control let him down. Komornicki. Dzikanovski. A good defensive play by Denmark, giving Poland no options. Morten Olsen cut that out. Arnesen. Too long for Lerby. Boniek. And Zhikanovsky and Wojcicki. Matishik. But then all cut out by Ivan Nielsen. So we move into the final 5 minutes of the half. No goals as yet. Denmark against Poland. But here's Elkjær. How did he keep control there? Preben Elkjær eventually losing it. But Mulbu on it now. And very nearly an own goal of Matishik. But Mlynarczyk on the spot to drop on it. Ball breaking off Elkjær to Mulbu, and Matishik very nearly putting it past his own keeper. Chances at both ends, but the score sheet still blank. Lerby. Morten Olsen. And that was Laudrup winning it back. Olsen still. And Busk. Smolarek. Beaten there by Berggren. Laudrup. And Lerby. Interesting ball that. Trying to hang it up in the air for Laudrup to chase in on. But Mlynarczyk, the goalkeeper, saw it coming. Well, that's a very good ball. Bunkol. And a very good challenge by Berggren. Very good defending by the Dane. Klaus Berggren, who plays his football with Pisa in Italy. This is Komornicki. And Boniek trying to get on the end of that. But away came Ivan Nielsen. And now Lerby. Chasing back is Kubicki. Mulby. Challenge deprived Elkjær. Berggren. Mulby. And a chance here for Elkjær. Brilliant goalkeeping by Mlynarczyk. Very good attack built up by Mulbu here, slotting the ball through. Watch for Elkjær come running into the space behind the defence, but the goalkeeper out to spread himself. Fine goalkeeping to keep Poland level at 0-0. Great attack, epitomising the danger, the threat posed by Preben Elkjær, number 10 there, but marvellous, marvellous goalkeeping by the big man. And Arnesson's corner now, Poland are able to deal with. That coming with just 2 minutes, just over to half-time. Now 2 minutes to half-time. And still it's Denmark 0, Poland 0. Matishik. Komornicki. Smolarek. Lerby. And now Laudrup. And Elkjær trying to get through the middle. The twin strikers posing a considerable threat, but unable to make that threat tell in terms of goals. Into the final minute of the first half, still awaiting the first goal. These two World Cup finalists. Denmark in the darker strip and Poland. Denmark, who are involved in what is commonly known in World Cup circles as the group of the dead, because somebody good's going to have to go out. They play with West Germany, Scotland and Uruguay. Poland, for their part, are in with Portugal, England and Morocco, and must be entertaining serious aspirations about qualification. As for Denmark, well, they are quite a few people's fancy to go all the way and win the World Cup. This injury going to extend the first half somewhat. We've now passed the 45-minute stage and are playing added time. There's the challenge coming up. And the man floored, Andrei Bunkol. And he now is receiving treatment. And as he receives that treatment, so the referee decides there is time for no more. No score in the first half in this final World Cup warm-up for both these countries. With Denmark making the better chances, the more frequent chances, but Poland having come close to scoring too, as Denmark's goalkeeper Ole Kvist fumbled towards the end of the first half. 45 minutes then of this friendly remaining. The Idrætsparken in Copenhagen, a packed house as to be expected. 40,000 plus. Ulf Eriksson of Sweden to set the second half in motion. Poland all in white to play from left to right. And the floodlights on as evening draws on in Copenhagen. Bunkol. Kubicki. And now Tsiganovsky winning himself a free kick, fouled by Ivan Nielsen. Atmosphere as it was, carnival time in Copenhagen. Denmark would surely like to crown the carnival with a goal or two. A nation that has come of age in footballing terms in the last 7 years, and they've been under the charge of the manager, the German Sepp Piontek. The Poles, though, old hands at the World Cup game and qualified now for their 4th consecutive World Cup finals. Kubicki. The crowd didn't like it, Senan Literary doesn't like it, but Poland have got a free kick. They too with the substitute on. Kubicki. And now Bunkol, very nearly dancing his way through there. And Poland mounting their first attack of the second half. Kubicki. And Bunkol going in to challenge, and now Smolarek. And again, a good 1-2 played there. And the shot from Dzikanovsky over the bar and away. Should be a corner. In fact, it wasn't spotted by the referee. It definitely came off a Danish boot there. Now Jesper Olsen. Elkjær and Olsen again. Back goes the big man. Voikiki. Laudrup. And Henrik Andersen. Lurby. Morten Olsen. Lurby again. Poor ball. Dzikanovsky. Challenge from Berggren. And the challenge is going in thick and fast there. Berggren is down on the ground and hurt. Dzikanovsky. And sportingly putting the ball out of play to allow attention on for the injured man. Berggren, having injured himself on the arm. And it looks like Berggren is going to go off. And let's just hope it's nothing too serious that might jeopardize his chances of appearing in the World Cup. Denmark, of course, and Berggren in particular, never having played in a World Cup final series before. Still treatment for Berggren. And danger here. Eventually averted. And now an attack on with Jesper Olsen for Denmark. And Olsen fouled, and Denmark with a free kick. And it has to be said, the Poles pretty cynical in the way they're snuffing out these Danish attacks. And let's hope that's not a sign of the times. That's what we can expect from Poland when they go to Mexico. Olsen chopped down. There's a similar foul in the first half. Laudrup was put to the floor. And all Denmark have is the free kick. Lurby. And Mjølnarczyk able to hold it. Good cross. Now Boniek. Bunkol off for the return, but a goal kick to Denmark. Lurby. And Lurby again from Laudrup. Now Jesper Olsen. Boniek. Danes challenging hard. So too the Poles. Lurby and Michael Laudrup. Doing very well, Laudrup. And the goalkeeper at sea, but Elkjær having to chase and shepherd it out of play for the goal kick. But that was super play by Laudrup. Skipping away from 3 challenges. And then whipping in the cross that of the goalkeeper at sea. But unfortunately for Denmark, Laudrup's cross could not be met by Elkjær. Free kick awarded to Poland. Now Kubicki. Matisik. Kubicki. And Wojcicki trying to get going, but now Poland back to Majewski. And nothing accruing there. Sivebek on a run. Well, he's gone on many runs like that for Denmark before. He scored a goal against Ireland in Dublin from a similar run, which crowned the Danes' qualifying effort. But on that occasion, when he played the pass for Elkjær to chase, the striker didn't want to know. Ostrovsky beaten there by Mølby. Laudrup, Lerbu, Boniek winning it back. Smolarek, Sivebek back. Berggren back on the field, as you can see, and none the worse for that injury to the arm. Anderson. Elkjær. Morten Olsen. And Laudrup pushed off the ball. No whistle. Now there is. Michael Laudrup of Juventus in Italy. Pushed down eventually. And Denmark with another free kick. Six is Lerbu. Jan Mølby trying to get on the end of it, succeeding eventually. And that's a Polish ball. Nothing coming. A poor throw that was. Nothing coming for Poland. It's now Lerbu. Mølby. Mølby. Finding Anderson. His control let him down at the vital moment. Olsen trying to play the 1-2 with Anderson, but well read by Kubicki. Bunkol, Kubicki. Anderson still on him, but having fouled him in the eyes of the referee. It's a free kick to Poland. Still no goals between Denmark and Poland. 12 minutes of the second half gone. Zikanovsky. Anderson holding him off and winning back the ball. Very tenacious Denmark in the challenge. Jesper Olsen. Really loves to go and run at defences, Olsen. 1-2 with Laudrup. And that looked like a handball by Ostrovsky, and was indeed. And at the risk of sounding repetitive, I'll say it again, but the Poles are pretty cynical in the way they are snuffing out Danish attacks, refusing to let the game flow. And this is obviously a tactic they're going to employ in Mexico when World Cup points are at stake. Lerby. Michael Laudrup opening for the shot, and the deflection gives Denmark the corner. Michael Laudrup, still only 21 years of age, but playing in his 29th international for Denmark. And winning the corner. Played short to Elkjær. Jesper Olsen. Skipping away from the anticipated challenge, he couldn't get the cross into effect. Kubicki. Quarter of an hour of the second half gone. Scoreline still 0-0, Denmark and Poland. And Jesper Olsen finally bringing order to the chaos as Denmark think about bringing on another substitute. Lerby. Mulby. And well played by Laudrup. Too many white-clad players back. Bunkol beaten by Mulby. Laudrup, Jesper Olsen, and Elkjær! A typically Danish goal right on the 61st minute. Preben Elkjær beats Josef Miljarczyk. Fashioned by Laudrup, won back by Mulby, then Laudrup got it, slipped it to Jesper Olsen, and when he pulled it in behind the defence, in came the predator Elkjær to tuck it away and make it Denmark 1, Poland 0. Super goal, this perfectly weighted cross, and arriving late as ever with the flashing foot, Preben Elkjær. 1-0 to Denmark. And I think on the balance of play, Denmark worth that lead. And perhaps that'll give them a little bit of confidence to hit the net more. Poland, apart from a few flashes up front, have really played a containing game and played it quite cynically at times. But there was nothing they could do about Elkjær, who arrived perfectly to meet that cross from Jesper Olsen. Began really in front of the Polish area when they were caught in possession. Jan Mulby won the ball back, fed Laudrup, who in turn fed Jesper Olsen, and his cross met superbly by Elkjær. 1-0 to Denmark. And a fair old buzz around the Idretts Park Stadium now. Free kick this time goes to Poland. Zikanovski, cut out by Mulby. Rare error by the Liverpool man. It was Berggren back to Kvist. Lerby. Morten Olsen, Lerby, and this is Anderson. Henrik, deep cross, Elkjær on the end of it, but not as yet in a dangerous position. Unable to turn his man, looking for the free kick off Majewski. The free kick given instead against Elkjær. But what a superb goal that was. Still has them talking, the buzz around the Idretts Park in appreciation of that marvellous strike by Preben Elkjær. Elkjær, the scorer of 8 goals in Denmark's 8 qualifying matches. And in this, his 55th game, he's pushed his total for his country way past 30. Remarkable record, scores more often than every other game. Preben Elkjær, on average that is, of course. 20 minutes of the second half gone. Denmark won through Preben Elkjær. After 16 minutes of the half, Poland 0. And Poland have been caught offside. Elkjær again, all on his own. Support arrived just too late, but Denmark have got the throw. Poland, meanwhile, want to make another substitution. They're bringing off Zikanovski, and Skutsinski is going on. Skutsinski, 28-year-old from Górnik Shrubsbury, coming on to win his 3rd cap. So, Skutsinski on, Zikanovski off. And each side now with 2 replacement players on. And that coming in the 22nd minute of the second half. This is Anderson for Denmark. Poor cross in the end. And well, he knows it. Now, Lerby. Jesper Olsen for Lerby again. The pass wasn't quite what Lerby wanted. And that's seen as a foul by the big man Ivan Nielsen. Now, Boniek. And a chance here, Smolarek. Kvist made the save. Well, I suppose they all count. But he didn't look at all comfortable going for it. He didn't hold it cleanly, but it kept the score sheet clean. Smolarek denied by Ole Kvist. Here it is again. He got in behind the defence well. Kvist came out. Didn't seem to know what he was doing, but got himself in the right place all right to make the save. Elkjær again. And the ball breaking almost to Berggren. But Milacic down to save. foul on Morten Olsen. Vastly experienced Danish captain. 78th international for him. Off and running is Johnny Sivebæk. The free kick again, and another substitution for Denmark. Per Freeman going on. Freeman of Anderlecht. And Klaus Berggren is coming off. Berggren, who had an arm injury, now being withdrawn, and Freeman can go on. Freeman, a midfield player, so straight swap. He goes on. And Klaus Berggren comes off. Lutterby. Elkjær doing well to get that one back. Remarkably strong. Mølby. Nielsen. And now Sivebæk. Mølby. Lutterby once more. Trying to drill it through the Polish defender. Boniek now for Poland. 20 minutes to go. It's 1-0 to Denmark still. The goal scored 9 minutes ago by who else but Preben Elkjær. Andersen. Jesper Olsen. He made the opening goal. Andersen on the overlap. Defender committed himself totally and then committed the foul. Kubicki, having slid in as defenders shouldn't, and sold himself completely, then left himself with little alternative. Look how far out he slid from. Andersen did the right thing in checking, and then the pole just got in his way to make sure he couldn't take advantage of his error. Another piece of Polish cynicism. And Elkjær wants to take the free kick. Poor enough free kick. Morten Olsen, put out by Wojcicki. Andersen. Elkjær to Lutterby. Michael Laudrup. Well, he has a fair old shot on him. It was just a little too high from Michael Laudrup, but plenty of power in it. And in the rarefied atmosphere of Mexico, that kind of tactic will be well worth trying. Elkjær taking the defender out of the way to try and open the room for Laudrup's shot. But he got underneath it, put it over the top. Lerby. Olsen. There are 3 men in there battling. And then Mølby. That was Matisik. Kubicki. And again. Now, Michael Laudrup. And slid through for Elkjær. Oh, that would have been so spectacular. The old 1-2, Laudrup putting in Elkjær. He went for the stylish finish with a back heel into the path of the onrushing Laudrup, but completely missed his kick. He might have been as well advised to have a shot himself. It could have been just as spectacular a goal. Quarter of an hour to go then. And Preben Elkjær, the difference between the teams. Denmark leading Poland in this friendly between 2 of the 24 World Cup finalists. Another substitution made on the Polish side. Andrzej Palasz going into the side. Is a midfielder come winger. Spoken of early in his career as the new Lubanski, but has yet to fulfill that promise. Palasz, who's 25, plays for Górnik Shrubsbury. And this is Palasz on the ball. Matisik. Palasz. The whistle had gone. Well, they're certainly enjoying the show by their team. Offering encouragement. See someone who's already got his Mexican sombrero all ready for the trip. Laudrup, Søren Lerby. Elkjær, Lerby again. Jesper Olsen. And Elkjær, offside. Wouldn't have mattered anyway. It was offside. Majewski. And now Palasz. Boniek. Kubicki won in the corner of Jesper Olsen. Well, still the instructions coming from the Polish bench. As indeed they might. They wouldn't like to leave here with a defeat. Palash with the corner. Number 2 firmly struck. And easy for Mulby. Kubicki, Palash and Boniek. And that was Anderson who took a tumble there. You're watching Denmark playing Poland in friendly international prior to both teams' departure for the World Cup finals in Mexico. And with a little under 10 minutes to go in the Idretts Park in Copenhagen, it's Denmark 1, Poland 0. The goal scored superbly after 61 minutes by Preben Elkjær, Denmark's marksman-in-chief. Skutsinski, but now Jesper Olsen for Denmark. Mulby, didn't seem enough room for him there. They got out of that tricky situation very well. And now Preben Elkjær. Sivebæk, Lerby, Elkjær, Olsen. Elkjær. Right underneath that. Had the room to fire the shot, but you'll see what happened to it. Right underneath it, no trouble to Miljacek. The danger cut out by Henrik Andersen, but not completely. Corner has been awarded. The ball evidently crossing the line. And Johnny Sivebæk returns to take up station in the heart of the defence. And Poland have this corner. And again, the goalkeeper was all over the place. That's another corner. But Kvist, the policeman, certainly doesn't inspire confidence as a goalkeeper. He made one rather awkward, if effective, save, but he was all wrongly placed for that previous corner. And Denmark were fortunate enough to get away with it. Now on the break, Laudrup showing too much of that to the defender. Meanwhile, Smolarek is offside. Palash. Now Jesper Olsen. And Denmark once more. Mulby. Olsen. Morten Olsen. And again, the cynicism of the Poles showing. Smolarek this time, and at long last, referee Ulf Eriksson reaches for the book. And Smolarek, watch this, Morten Olsen was away, Smolarek taking the legs from underneath him. And Vladimir Smolarek booked after 84 minutes of this match. And really, in my view, a Polish name should have gone in that referee's book much sooner, for they have shown no reluctance whatsoever to chop down the man when he looks like he might be getting into a promising position. Well, here on Europa Television, you're getting the chance to watch live two of the teams who've qualified for the World Cup finals in Mexico. Denmark, many people's favourites to do the best of all the European teams. Indeed, some would say they have a real chance of winning the World Cup. And Poland, the old hands here, all in white, in their fourth final series in a row. But on the night, live on Europa TV, you've seen Denmark get the better of the Poles. At least at this stage, with just 5 minutes of the match to go, they're in front. 1-0, and the scorer was Preben Elkjær, and that goal came 16 minutes into the second half. Meanwhile, Poland very, very nearly equalising. A lapse in concentration. And somehow or other, the chance that fell was not go in. Jan Karash, the number 15, pulling the ball across the face of the goal, but it just would not go in. Elkjær on the burst, meanwhile, for Denmark. And turning his man superbly. And Jesper Olsen might have made more of it. Elkjær superb here, turning his man twice, Voikiki, and then whipping in the cross, and Olsen just flashing at it when it fell to him and thumping it over the bar. Just over 3 minutes to go, 1-0 still to Denmark. And there you are, confirmation of how long it is to go. And here's Freeman trying to go, and the big man, Majewski, pulling him back. And the side of Polish football we're seeing in this match is not the side that we would particularly want to see. Not overtly foul play, but foul play nonetheless. They're certainly not hacking their way through this match, but when Danes get into a dangerous area, they do tend to pull them down. This is Boniek, meanwhile, and he's had the feet taken from him by Søren Lerbu, and Lerbu is going to be booked. And if I'm consistent, I have to say, rightly so too. Here we go again. Watch the player behind Boniek on the run. Lerbu just taking the feet from him, and he becomes the second player to be booked. But in mitigation, as far as Denmark are concerned, I have to say that is the first time after 88 minutes of the match that I've seen anything as cynical from the Danish side to compare with what the Poles have been doing throughout this match. Lerbu then booked. And five-man wall on the edge of the box as Palash, 17, and Skutsinski prepare. Palash for the shot, breaking now to Kubicki. But offside seen by the linesman and awarded by the referee. And so we move into the final minute of this friendly international. And even if there's only one goal in it, that goal making the result, in my view, a fair one. Unless Poland should snatch one here. Smolarek against Morten Olsen. But the wily old campaigner getting his men out of trouble. And then Laudrup. Once again, Olsen in just the right place. Moby. And out for a throw to Poland. And the horns, the klaxons sound to salute Denmark's final victory before Mexico. And a fine victory it's turning out to be. 45 minutes of the second half have been played. And it would appear, time for no more. The match has ended. Ulf Eriksson, the Swedish referee, blowing his whistle to bring it to its conclusion. And Denmark go to Mexico, having beaten another of the finalists, Poland, by 1-0. Delight for the 40,000 in the Idrettspark. The goal coming after 61 minutes. The ball won by Jan Mølby, worked through Michael Laudrup to Jesper Olsen. His cross whipped in and clinically and superbly finished by Preben Elkjær. A brilliant goal to decide the issue on a night in which we saw the uglier side of Polish football, with some cynical fouls, 2 players booked. But on the night's play, a very fair result. Denmark deserving victors over Poland by that Preben Elkjær goal, leaving the final score in Copenhagen. Denmark 1, Poland 0. And here we see the goal again. Played by Laudrup to Olsen, whipped in from the left, and a superb finish, giving the goalkeeper no chance. The top goal scorer for Denmark, Preben Elkjær, deciding the issue in Copenhagen. This friendly ending live on Europa Television. Denmark 1, Poland 0.